it seems tradition. Never go astray and stay an honest, loving son. Son of my father, fooling always free from drive. Son of my father, commanded always branded in a plastic craft, surrounded and confounded by statistic facts. Tried to lift me in, but I jumped out of my skinny time. I scrutinized and read it alibi signs. So I left my home, I'm really on my own at last. Left the past and separated from the past. Son of my father, changing, rearranging into someone new. Son of my father, collected and selected independent views, knowing and showing how to change his tune. Son of my father, fooling always free from drive. Son of my father, commanded always branded in a plastic craft, surrounded and confounded by
So that was Chicory Tip to start off the second hour of today's show. That was Son of My Father, a very excellent track indeed. I love the keyboard. It's not really quite a keyboard in the background, but I can't remember the name of the instrument, which is a handheld computer type thing. Or I say type thing because it wasn't very much of a computer thing at all. Anyway, let's not create too much confusion. Let's move on to the next song of today's show. So we look for we look at the charts of yesteryear for our very next song, and that is from Steve Harley and the Cockney Rebel, brand new into this week's chart of 1974. It was Steve Harley and the Cockney Rebel in at number, I had it written down, I didn't have it in front of me, that was not a good start. Anyway, in at number in at number 33 with Judy Teen. Here is the track that was brand new to this week's chart of many moons ago. We get there in the end.
Judy Teen, the queen of the scene, she's like de l'amour. Verbal slang, American twang, you dare not ignore. In from New York.
So that was Steve Harley, Cockney Rebel, here on Eden FM 107.5. You're listening to Online. It's the 22nd episode. I'm starting to lose track, or count at least anyway, but that might be due to the fact that I'm not very good with numbers or words or writing paper. Anyway, what are we up to next? We're looking at, we look each and every week out for the brand new music, and I enjoy sharing that with you, and also encourage you to find out more about these artists, as I do tend to be fairly vague about them. So, to continue in that vein, up next is brand new music for you. This Is Never Ending is the name of the song. It's a brand new song from Aidan Hatfield, who is from Leeds. Here, have a listen and see what you think.
Together, we've heard them all 1,000 times. You would tell me mine were better. The words that I write are not the words that you read. Desperation and pain build up inside of me. Now the hour is late and I don't mean to be mean. I must gather my things, it's time for me to leave. This is never ending, we are both descending to the floor. Crippled and depending on each other, fending through all personal war. This is never ending, we are both descending to the floor. Crippled and depending on each other, fending through all. Did you ever give up time for all the wasted hours? The ones we spent together. Did you feel that I was worth the same as your forgotten time? A reason to lie is not a reason to bleed. Desperation and pain build up inside of me. The silence won't make it right, and I don't mean to be mean. I must gather my thoughts, it's time for me to leave. This is never ending, we are both descending to the floor. Crippled and depending on each other, fending through all personal war. This is never ending, we are both descending to the floor. Crippled and depending on each other, fending through all.
There are some days where you don't and everything's great. And even if it's not great, you don't mind. No matter what the road throws at you, you tell yourself that you're going to be fine. You tell yourself that you're going to learn from it, get stronger, and better, and move forward. And those days are absolutely amazing. There's nothing that can slow you down. It's so thankful to get those days. But then there's other days where no matter how you feel, no matter how good you are, you just can't smile. And you never know why. You can't help but blame yourself. You can't help but think that you're normal and feel that way. No matter how hard you try, you never get to that. Those days are the absolute worst. No matter what you do, you can't find a reason to smile. That's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. It's your fault. It's a flaw in character, and you need to not bring yourself down when you feel that way.
So the third instalment of the brand new music on today's show, that was Aidan Hatfield with This Is Never Ending. So do feel free to find out more about these bands and groups and artists, or solo artists, as I believe it is in the case for Aidan Hatfield. So if you want to find out more about them, I am posting up links on my Twitter feed and also adding a link to the Eden FM one, so you should be able to find it somewhere around that way, at least anyway. There is plenty more research to be done, is my main point that I'm trying to share with you. But what have we got in store next? Well, we're going to be listening to the Spin Doctors as our very next song, but we will be talking to you about the world of gaming, and that will be coming up very shortly, but we'll be talking about the news side of gaming. So very shortly we'll be talking to you about the tech world, the gaming world, and the streaming world. Stay tuned, there is still plenty of features on a Wednesday show here on Eden FM from me, LJ. Thank you very much for joining me. So, Little Miss Can't Be Wrong is the name of the song from the Spin Doctors. That one. It's our song. Enjoy.
It's been a whole lot easier since you just left town. It's been a whole lot happier without a face around. Nobody upstairs gonna stop and shout. Nobody at the back door gonna throw my lounger out. She holds the shotgun while you do-si-do. She want one man, made a Hercules and Cyrano. I've been a whole lot easier since she's gone. Little miss, can't be wrong. Little miss, can't be wrong. Ain't nobody gonna bow no more when you sound you gone. Little miss, can't be wrong. What you gonna do to get into another one of these rock and roll songs? All the people songs, they ain't your hand-me-downs. Would it be so bad to simply turn around? You cook so well, all nice and French. You do your brain surgery too, mama, with your monkey wrench. Little miss, can't be wrong. Ain't nobody gonna bow no more when you sound you gone. Little miss, can't be wrong. What you gonna do to get into another one of these rock and roll songs? I hope them cigarettes are gonna make you cough. I hope you heard this song and it pissed you off. I take that back, I hope you're doing fine. And if I had $1, I might give you 99. Little miss, can't be wrong. Ain't nobody gonna bow no more when you sound you gone. Little miss, can't be wrong. What you gonna do to get to another one of these rock and roll songs? Little miss, can't be wrong. No. Oh, you can't be wrong. Oh, you can't be wrong. You can't be wrong. Little miss, can't be wrong.
Your community station. Your 107.5 Eden FM.
I was always telling Dave to pull the weeds up in the driveway, but it was always me that ended up doing it, and my back feeling it. Not anymore, because I called Heritage Print Driveways and got us a fantastic imprinted concrete driveway. No cracks, no loose stones, a drain-away drive, and no more weed killer. And it looks great. So if your driveway, pathway or patio is painfully high maintenance, uneven and full of puddles, call Heritage Print Driveways on Penrith 861 299 or visit their showroom at the end of Mines Lane behind the Penrith Railway Station. Heritage Print Driveways, the pathway to greater things for your home or business.
LJ on Eden FM.
That's right, welcome back ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Eden FM 107.5. We are broadcast live from Penrith, across the Eden Valley and even further via the help of the internet. So whichever way you're enjoying today's show, I thank you very much for your attendance. So what else was I going to say? Well, we're going to talk to you about the streaming news very shortly, but we'll have a song in between, and that will be Va 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 Voom. Let's get it correct first. So yes, we'll be talking to you about streaming, gaming and also tech news very shortly, and then we have games to talk to you about as well. So the new releases from last week, actually, as I try to find my way through the reviews and see what is definitely worth talking about. And also we'll be talking about a game of old, one definitely worth remembering if you're of the right age, or finding out about if you're not. Anyway, we move on with the show. You already know the next song. Here it is. Here it is. There we are.
I've gone so crazy, I'm a certified nervous wreck. A little bit eccentric, screaming like a discotheque. I'm dizzy, I'm mad, I'm not number 23. You say I'm blind, but I can't see, I can see. Hey, you with your red boots on, you're mad, I see. And you with your mind all gone. I don't want troubles, I don't like lies. Just give me a view. I'm number 23, but the way it's going, I'll be number 22. Ba 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 boo. Ba 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 boo. Ba 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 boo. Ba 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 boo. I'm just plain psycho. Va 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 boom. Skiing through the Swiss Alps in my padded room. Va 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 boom. Oh, what a lovely jacket, but the sleeves are far too long. Oh, but me and Houdini, we've known that one all along, all along. Hey, you with a hairdo, where'd you get it done? If they think we're gonna do
So we're talking about the world of gaming, as it's the first instalment of Gigabyte. So, starting us off, we're talking about streaming news, and that is the news that PlayStation and Xbox are joining forces. Apparently, they are teaming up against Google and Amazon. So they are not forming their own superheroes, but they are forming their own companies to take on or take the race on for instant cloud-based gaming. So this partnership could mean that the consoles may end up winning the race, or either platform could end up winning the race, really. But it may also mean a major change to cross-platform changing, which is still a hot button in the gaming community at the moment. So who knows, watch this space. There may be changes around the corner for cross-platform gaming in particular. So I think that's good news to start off with. We then move on to the gaming news, and gaming news is an anniversary. We're celebrating, or they are celebrating, their 10th anniversary, and it is Minecraft. Minecraft is still going strong, their latest edition being an augmented reality version. So they are still going strong after 10 years, and we say happy birthday, Minecraft. Not a game I play, as a matter of fact, not a game that I play because I have never played it, but that's just because it hasn't appealed to me as of yet. I'll no doubt get around to it so long as they have their 20th anniversary. Anyway, we move on to the last but not least, and that is a United Nations study has found that the AI voices assistants such as Alexa, Siri, Cortana, those sorts of voice replies from computers are apparently perpetuating harmful gender barriers, and I'm sorry to laugh because it just seems strange that a computer is doing this. Well, the basis what they're basing this on is eagerness to please. So a voice that is eager to please on a regular basis apparently is also causing damage too. I thought it was a fascinating story enough. I do apologise for the little giggle halfway through, but it was a fascinating story that I just had to share with you. One more song between us and a return to the album in focus, which is Born on a Pirate Ship, the 1996 third studio album from the Canadian rockers Bare Naked Ladies. Stay tuned for that, but before we get there, we'll hear from Richard Hawley. Yes, I'm serious, and so is this song.
When you are in love, you feel the stars above. There's no devil in your eyes. There's no darkness in disguise. But when you are alone, a kiss can turn your heart to stone. Hearts breaking in the night. There's a devil in her eyes. Serious, so serious. A kiss that caught the wind and made you delirious. Oh, it's serious, so serious. Take her in your arms, don't be afraid. Never be afraid. When you are in love, the stars burn bright above. There's a kindness in your eyes. There's no darkness in disguise. Oh, but when you are alone, all your heart it turns to stone. Hearts breaking in the night. There's a devil in her eyes. It's serious, so serious. A kiss that caught the wind and made you delirious. Oh, it's serious, so serious. Take her in your arms, don't be afraid. Never be afraid. never be afraid.
Music is better when it's shared together. So that was Serious from Richard Hawley, and I'm serious about that fact. I certainly enjoy sharing music. That's what it's all about. So I try to bring your attention to new things, or things you may have missed from out the past. Things you may have missed throughout the way is what I was trying to say, but for some reason it slipped straight out of my brain. Anyway, we're moving to the album in focus, and that album in focus is from the Canadian rock band The Bare Naked Ladies. More facts like that right
The album in focus.
now. So the album in focus for this week is from 1996. It is the third studio album from the Canadian rock band, and it has received a mere 2 stars, but it was a slow burner, was this album. I still recommend that you add it to your collection. The big hit taken from the album was, or as I say, a big hit, well, everything from the album was fairly moderate, but as I say, it was more of a cult slow burner for this album in particular. So the old apartment was the big single that was released and didn't quite make it into the top 100 in America, but was 111, I believe, was the position. So we were talking about the band coming up with their title of their name at a concert, at a Bob Dylan concert, actually. They came up with quite a few different names at that time. Well, we'll move from Bob Dylan to Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney said of the band in 2008, the band's harmonies are right on, and I'm not going to try and do a Paul McCartney accent. No, that's not because I can't do one. It's because I probably can't get it past copyright. So anyway, the band's harmonies are right on. They could outsing us any day of the week. I think John and myself never had such a good range as they do, and I think that's wonderful compliments from such a legend like Paul McCartney. That was in 2008, and in 2018 would see the band being entered into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's not just me, not just my word, it's also an excellent band and an excellent few artists and critics on my side too. Find out more about the Bare Naked Ladies. But to get you started off, we move to the next track from the album. This is entitled I Live With It Every Day.
August 1st, 1981, I cycled to Scott's house with a BB gun. We were almost 12, but we looked 13. We had baby blue eyes that I shot in between. Nature provides for us a safety net. Whatever we do, we can never forget. I live with it every day, even though we've moved away. Our yesterdays are on a loop, a marathon of heartbreaking moments. The day they found me asleep on the floor, engine running, closed garage door, was the day the for sale sign arrived on the lawn. 2 weeks later and we were gone. Everyone falls through time in the funnel it makes, but I'm staying here inside my biggest mistake. I live with it every day, even though we've moved away. Our yesterdays are on a loop, a marathon of heartbreaking moments. I live with it every day, for every step I have to pay. The only thing that they can't take, the guilt children play. The hearts you choose to break, like cars dumped in the lake. The laugh lines on your face, the life I want to bring, the cold house I won't leave, guesses I won't receive. I live with it every day, even though we moved away. Our yesterdays are on a loop, a marathon of heartbreaking moments. I live with it every day, for every step I have to pay. The only thing that they can't take, the guilt that spirals in my way.
So that was the Bare Naked Ladies, taken from the album in focus for this week, and we shall return to it on Friday's show. The name of the album is Born on a Pirate Ship, and that is from 1996, the third studio album from them, and we've already had the official link to it. We will hear one more song before we get to the next installment of Gigabyte, where we'll be telling you about the new releases of games. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be highlighting a few of the games that I think are worth taking note of, and we'll also be talking to you about Remembering Retro. Almost forgot. Remembering Retro will also be coming up, as we still have another brand new song to be sharing with you. Still plenty of things, but not plenty of time. So up next, without further ado, Fast Slow Disco from St. Vincent. You're listening to Eden FM 107.5, and thank you very much for doing so, ladies and gentlemen. We are broadcast live from Penrith, across the Eden Valley, and even further via the help of the internet. Whichever way you are listening to today's show, thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, seriously.
I sway in place to a slow disco, and a glass for the saints, and a bow for the road. And I think what everybody's thinking, and I'm
That was St Vincent with Slow Fast Disco. You're listening to Eden FM 107.5 and this is online. I'm your host, LJ, and thank you very much for joining me. We're now going to move back to Gigabyte, and following that we'll also provide you another brand new song. That isn't the last of the features, as there is still Remembering Retro. So we're talking about new games this week. We highlight 4 new games each and every week, so long as there is enough games to fill that remit. Nothing has too much of a trouble so far, but I am thinking about those weeks around Christmas where things can be held off for the Christmas weeks or something like that. Anyway, we'll tell you about these this week and what we're up to. So we're looking for the brand new games, and we have looked for all the consoles as well as the PC. So there is something for everyone. Fingers crossed, at least anyway. Starting off with the PlayStation 4, they may be available on other platforms, but do some research before you part with hard-earned cash or get your hopes up too high. Bubsby Paws on Fire is the first game we're talking about. Can you stop the craze Onka P. Ham? Well, there is only one way to find out, and that is by playing Bubsby Paws on Fire. It has received a 7.6 rating from us, so if you want to find out more about it, I will be posting a link to all of the new stuff from today's show online via my Twitter feed, so if you find your way there, or even just to the Eden FM one, there will be a link to that there as well. Confused? Well, I'm going to try and stop being confused and move on with the next one. So on the Xbox, we are also looking at Rage 2. Rage 2, enter a dystopian world where you can go anywhere, shoot anything, and explode anything. 6.8 is the rating from us for the second installment of the Rage series game. You want to find out more about it? There is plenty more information to be had. We move back in time, not for our Remembering Retro quite yet, but we are talking to you about the Castlevania anniversary collection. So you could spend many hours being tortured by the excellent games of Castlevania. So it is from Konami, and it has been around for quite a long time. This is available on the Switch, and it has still got an excellent rating of 8.2 from us. So if there is more information to be had about all of these games, and one more brand new game to talk to you about, and that would be A Plague Tale. Yes, and from that title you know it's not going to be a happy story. A Plague Tale Innocence is the name of this song, and this game on the PC. I do know it's available on other platforms, in particular the Xbox One is. So follow an orphaned protagonist and help them escape basically help them escape the plague is what I'm trying to say. Stumbling on my words. 8.8. It is the highest rated game, but it is a sad tale. So if you want to find out more about any of these new releases, new games, new DVDs, make your way to the Twitter feed. That is the second installment of Gigabyte. There is still another one to be had. But we move on with the show, and I did promise you some brand new music. The brand new music comes from Courtney Barnett, and her new song, or the one that I'm going to be playing for you, there may be another new one since then, but her new song that I'm talking about is Everybody Here Hates You. That is just the title of the song, not Everybody Here Hates You. We all love you. Don't go changing. We love you just the way you are. Here is brand new music on Eden FM. Have a listen and see what you think.
I feel stupid, I feel useless, I feel insane. I feel toothless, man, you're ruthless, oh yeah.
so with only 9 minutes left on, well, less than 9 minutes left on today's show, that was the last of the brand new music. But then you probably could guess that anyway. That was that was an artist from Sydney, Australia, is what I'm trying to remember, and her name is Courtney Barnett. The name of the song is "Everybody Here Hates You." Well, I don't agree with that that sentiment. I do think it's a lovely song. So anyway, we move on with the show, and we also move back in time at the same time. So one step forward and a couple of years back, as we look for the last instalment of Gigabyte, and that is Remembering Retro. Around about this time, I like to remember just in time before we forget. So this is the classic game from 1992, and there is a connection to the new ones, because this one is Castlevania 4. Castlevania 4, I want to highlight this one in particular. It was released on the 23rd of November, to be absolutely precise, but that would be in this country at in the year of 1992. This was available on the SNES, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and it received a 82% score. So it is 16-bit graphics, and you play in a mode. You play, featuring modes. Featuring modes with 7 different backgrounds, I believe is what I'm saying here, or at least that's what I'm trying to read. Anyway, you play Simon Belmont, and you are stuck back in 1691 in Transylvania, defeating vampires through 11 levels. This was an absolute classic game, so classic that there has been a anniversary edition just being released for the Switch, which we were talking about in the other installment of Gigabyte. So that's where we are. That's what I remember, and I certainly hope you remember that game with fond memories too. Maybe also some of those, oh no, how can I nearly almost some of those memories too, with most of these games as well. Remember, they have to be frustrating and difficult to still have playability, I do believe, but not impossible. Impossible games, well, we try to forget them, really, don't we? Moving on with the show, up next we're going to be listening to Drinking in LA from Bran Van 3000, and I'll probably squeeze in another track before the end of the show, and then that will be the end of the show, and I will go home.
Hi, my name is Stereo Mike.
But let's hear from Stereo Mike, or should I say Bran Van 3000. I prefer saying Stereo Mike, it's easier to say.
Yeah, we got 3 tickets to the Brand Van concert happening this Monday night at the Pacific Palisades. You can all in if you want to answer a couple of questions. Mainly, what is Todd's favorite cheese? Jackie just called up and said it was a form of Roquefort. We'll see about that. Give us a ring ding ding. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, Todd, this is Liquid, ring-a-ding-a-ding-in. I want those 3 Brand Van tickets, man. What do you think? Todd?
I woke up again this morning with the sun in my eyes. When Mike came over with a script surprise. A mafioso story with a twist. A 2-1 fool, Julie Newmar. Here to get your ass out of bed. He said, I'll explain it on the way. But we did nothing.
Absolutely nothing that day. And I say, what the hell am I doing drinking in LA at 26? I got the fever for the flavor, the payback for the labor. Still I need a fix.
And the girls on the bus kept on laughing at us as we rode around town down to Venice again. Blaring out the G-Funk, sipping on juice and gin. Just me and a friend, feeling kinda groovy, working on a movie. Yeah, right!
But we did nothing, absolutely but kids that day. And I'll say, what the hell am I doing drinking in LA at 26?
With my mind on my money and my money on mine.
I'm never around this form I'm taking, so I better wise up and take it quick.
Yeah, one more time with Trader Vic's. With some men there wanted to hurt us, and other men said we weren't worth the fuss. You could see them all bitching by the bar about the fine line between the rich and the poor. And Mike turned to me and said,
So I need to fade now slightly early on this song, as I've got a song that is about 3 minutes long, or over 3 minutes long. It's almost 4 minutes long, but I'm running out of time. So I want to finish off today's show and say thank you very much for joining me here on Eden FM 107.5. I implore you to stay with us here at Eden FM, as up next will be the Liz Franklin Folk Show, and no doubt it will not be a disappointment. Stay tuned to find out more. Also, join me once again here at Eden FM on Friday's show, and that would be at the same time slot as you found me here today, between the hours of 6 and 8 each Friday, each Wednesday. Thank you very much for joining me. Until we meet again, do take care, ladies and gentlemen, and do be lucky. You are beautiful ones, and so is this song from Suede.
On the air and online at edenfm.co.uk. This is 107.5 Eden FM.
Following on from the Eden District Council annual meeting on the 16th of May, a new executive, that's a cabinet, has been formed from the Liberal Democrats Independent Group and the Labour Party respectively, following the recent local district council elections. The council's executive is to be comprised of the leader, who is Councillor Virginia Taylor from the Liberal Democrat Group, the deputy leader and commercial services portfolio holder, Councillor Mary Robinson from the Independent Group. Resources portfolio holder is Councillor Karen Greenwood from the Independent Group. Services portfolio holder Mike Tonkin is from the Independent Group. Communities portfolio holder is Councillor Lizzie Sharp from the Labour Group. Housing and duties and chair full council meetings. Councillor Andy Connell from the Liberal Democrat Group from the Appleby was elected as the council chairman, and the vice chairman is Councillor Dougie Banks from the Independent Group from Langworthby. And that's your news update here on Eden FM.
Eden FM weather with Worldwide Travel of Penrith. We can't promise you the weather, but we can promise you the best experience in booking a holiday. Call Worldwide Travel now on Penrith 865 918.
And here is your weather outlook for Wednesday, the 22nd of May. Well, it's sun all the way and a very dry day. Temperatures